You're listening to KPG 66.5, Dinosaur Talk Radio, your favorite prehistoric podcast for research, entertainment, and all things dinosaurs.
Hello there, all of our dinosaur fans, our prehistoric enthusiasts, everybody that loves anything to do with those terrible lizards, those dinosaurs. I'm your host, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony, and thank you so much for tuning in to KPG 66.5 Dinosaur Talk Radio. We are ready to rock out an awesome show. Hey, did you see who's behind me? I've got Ranger Reagan. Stand up here. Come stand up here with me. Say hello to your beautiful audience. Say hello.
Hi.
Perfect. That was a lovely hi. Give it some more enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. Say hoy.
Hi.
That was not enthusiasm. One more chance, Reagan. One more chance. Give the audience a hoy.
Hi.
That's a little bit better. Great job, great job. Now, today is Friday the 13th, everybody. Friday the 13th. And why am I talking like Steve Irwin? I'm not sure, because today we're going to Antarctica and not Australia, mate. Today we're talking about prehistoric Antarctica. But anyways, again, you guys, my name, Dinosaur Ranger Anthony. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 13 on Friday the 13th. What's that snake doing over there, Reagan? Quit messing with that snake here in the Dino Bus. We are live from the Dino Bus. Another episode right here in our traveling museum. And we are ready to rock this Friday. Now, how's everybody's dinosaur week going? Ours is pretty good here at the Stomp Chomp Roar headquarters. This week I traveled to Des Moines, Iowa, you guys, and did 5 child care centers out there. So thank you to all those child cares. A Child's World, New Creations of Ankeny, then Vine Street Child Care, then New Creations of Waukee, and then the Goddard School in Waukee. So thank you guys all so much for bringing me out to the Des Moines area and just having a great dinosaur week out there. It was tons of fun. I missed my family a little bit. I went all by my lonesome, but it was still a very good time. Very successful. The kids were having all kinds of fun learning all about dinosaurs. Now, is there snow where you guys live? We know in Antarctica, we always think about a frozen tundra. As you can see, I'm wearing my Antarctica science jacket right here. I am just like a paleontology jacket from down there in Antarctica. So one reason I picked this topic of today is because last year we had the Prehistoric Antarctica exhibit come through our traveling our museum here. Not my traveling museum. It came through my local museum, the Durham Museum, and them friends out there. So shout out to everybody at the Durham Museum. They have hired me multiple times to come out there and do some extra entertainment for when they have some dinosaur exhibits come on in. So they had the Prehistoric Antarctica, and they hired me to come out and do some extra stuff, so I got my Antarctica, kind of like a paleontology jacket if I was going down there to the science base down there off Ross Island. So it was tons of fun, so I wanted to bring what I taught the kids last year and bring it to our podcast today for episode number 13. But you guys, would you take a trip to Antarctica? Reagan, come over here. Come back over here. She's sitting over there in the driver's seat like we're going to drive the bus away right now when we're doing a live podcast on YouTube. Come over here real quick. Come on, welcome. Would you take a vacation to Antarctica? What do you think? Tell everybody. Would you go to Antarctica?
No, but sis would.
Your sister would go?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go to Antarctica?
Because it's freezing cold and my sister likes the cold.
Oh, your Cece likes the freezing cold, but you don't like the freezing cold? So no trip to Antarctica?
Cece will.
Well, what about you? No trip to Antarctica? No? You don't want to go to Antarctica? There's penguins down there. Still no? All right. Now, you guys, let's see how cold it is right down at the McMurdo Science Station down off the southern tip of Ross Island. So right here, you guys, in Omaha, Nebraska, where I live, it is a rockin' 48 degrees. But let's go ahead and see if we were to travel down there right now, how cold would it be, okay? So I got it here saved on my phone. We'll look up the current temperature. We'll hit refresh. Looks like right now it is 15 degrees and they're having light snow showers. It feels like 5 degrees. So down there off Ross Island, down in McMurdo Station, you guys, kind of like the science base for everybody that goes straight down there. You kind of go there first before you distribute into the rest of Antarctica looking for any kinds of fossils. Right now it looks like they're rocking a frigid 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Is that very cold, Reagan? That's real cold. We wouldn't want to go down there right now. We'll stick up here in Nebraska. It's 48 degrees. We're about to get out the tank tops because we are in our first spring. It feels like spring here, and we're loving every bit of it, okay? But let's go ahead, you guys, throw in a quick plug for today. Remember, shout out to Cryolophosaurus Records. They're the Elvis-like head crest of the Mesozoic era. So it's brought to you by that Cryolophosaurus that we will indeed talk about today. And I should have grabbed his skull right there. Reagan, do you know where the Dino Bus keys are at? I'll have to grab it when we start talking about Antarctica. Or maybe I'll even just turn my camera around. But right there in my display case, I have my Cryolophosaurus skull that I used last year. But let's go ahead and we're going to head into our first segment of today. It is Steggy's Pizza. Remember, one fact, everybody knows the rules. Reagan's going to grab our pizza box right here. Grab a pizza. Yep, that's the first one right there. We've got a pizza box right there from the Godfather. Reagan, are you going to be the Godfather? Or the Godmother? The Godmother and Disney. All right, one fact, everybody knows the rules. We've got 2 slices left in here. So we're going to open up a slice, or open the box, pull out a random slice, and see what our fun fact is for today. Reagan, will you so kindly grab us a slice? Whoopsie daisy.
I'm picking the first.
All right, pick it.
Starts with the.
All right, we'll grab that one. All right, our fun fact for the day. The tail spike on the Stegosaurus is called... Reagan, do you know the tail spike on the Stegosaurus? What's it called? Do you remember?
I forget.
Yeah, I know you know what it is, and I know you'll know when I say it. The tail spike on the Stegosaurus is called a thagomizer. Do you remember those thagomizers? That's right, a thagomizer is those tail spikes on the Stegosaurus. Steggy's Pizza, the thagomizer is probably what they use to cut their pizzas at the cut table. So Steggy rules. That's right. That is brought to you by Steggy's Pizza. The tail spike is called the thagomizers. And it came from, you guys, scientists didn't initially name it the thagomizers. What happened was it was in like a comic strip, a cartoon comic, and they had some caveman right there, and they were talking about the tail spikes, and they said to, like, avoid the thagomizers. And it just stuck. Scientists, paleontologists loved it, and that is the name for the tail spike of our Stegosaurus. It is a thagomizer. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into our topic of today. We are heading down to prehistoric Antarctica. What are you doing back there behind me? Looking at that fabulous arrangement of flowers, of some flowering plants and banana leaves. All right. What is that?
I'm just hiding the T-Rex.
Oh, she's hiding the T-Rex dinosaurs. Let me fix my microphone right here real quick again, too. Do. All right, there we go. As we rock into our prehistoric Antarctica lesson for today, okay? Here, let me open up this real quick. Hey there, good morning, David. Welcome on in. Today we're talking about, 73 degrees down in Texas. That is amazing. That is just great. It is a little bit colder up here, but hey, we're both better off than being down there in McMurdo Station right now, okay? It is frigid cold down there. It feels like 5 degrees. You definitely would need a really big coat. So let's go, you guys. Yeah, just like this one right here. But let's go ahead and grab our prehistoric Antarctica lesson for today. So we'll go down our slides right here. Today we're going to talk about the geological history of Antarctica and how we find fossils. We'll talk about Captain Richard Scott and the British expedition of 1912, and we'll also mention a few dinosaurs that have been found down there in Antarctica, okay? So let's go ahead and grab our lesson right here. All right, you guys, so the frozen continent of Antarctica was the last continent that humans set foot on. But how did dinosaurs survive on this frozen tundra at the bottom of the earth? How did those dinosaurs all survive down there, like that Cryolophosaurus? Well, it wasn't always covered in ice. When we look back 400 to 200 million years ago, all the continents were connected in a supercontinent that I know you guys have heard of, Pangaea. Now, at one time, Antarctica was even closer to the equator. Palm trees would have grown on what is now an ice sheet with no trees at all. Now, these connections between all the land masses allowed for the plants and animals to migrate and grow all across the supercontinent. One example of this comes from the creature called the Lystrosaurus, who we saw in Jurassic World Dominion. And it's been found in South Africa, India, China, Australia, and Antarctica that we're talking about today. But how? And you guys, let me turn off my heater right here. Our heater somehow kicked back on, and I turned it off at the beginning of our show because it's going to get too toasty with my my big Antarctica jacket on. What are you poking at, Reagan?
I know where the bus keys are.
You know the bus keys are? Did you find the bus keys?
I think.
Where are they at?
Before we
well,
started, they were on your desk.
The desk? No, I'll grab them in a little bit, okay? All right, let's get back to our lesson, okay? So that Lystrosaurus that we seen in Jurassic World Dominion, I think it's nibbling on that bad guy's arm during one of the scenes. It's been found on South Africa, India, China, Australia, and Antarctica. But how? And it's because we believe at one time the continents were all connected as one in Pangaea. Now, unfortunately, Pangaea's days were numbered. Around 200 million years ago, during the early Jurassic period, the supercontinent began to split into two subcontinents. These two subcontinents were called Laurasia and Gondwana. Those are the two subcontinents that happened after Pangaea. Now, Antarctica, along with South America, Africa, Australia, Madagascar, Arabia, and India were all part of Gondwana. So again, Gondwana was made up of Antarctica, South America, Africa, Australia, Madagascar, Arabia, and India. So think of almost everything in the southern hemisphere of the world. While Laurasia is North America, Greenland, Northern Europe, Siberia, and Northeast Asia. So everything that's in the northern hemisphere is making up Laurasia. Now, around 180 to 150 million years ago, Antarctica also became a land bridge between South America to the west and Australia to the east, after the continent of Africa split from Antarctica and started moving north. So picture this. A long time ago, 180 million years ago, we've got Antarctica is like a land bridge. So on one side, it's connecting South America, and on the other side, it's connecting to Australia. Africa is right there in the middle, but it breaks away, the puzzle piece breaks away, and it starts going up north towards the equator. Okay, makes a lot of sense, right? So you guys, Africa and South America also split, creating the Atlantic Ocean. So we know the Atlantic Ocean is between the Americas and Africa and Europe. So as Africa and South America start going up north towards the equator, they also split. And that's going to start forming our Atlantic Ocean. And that is what's going to be a lot of the demise of Antarctica, okay? Have you seen the Atlantic Ocean before, Reagan? No. Yeah, we've been to the Atlantic Ocean before when we went on our Disney cruise.
I don't know if the ocean's Words are cold. I'm not yawning.
That's right. You haven't really got into geography class too much yet in kindergarten. Now, you guys, as we continue throughout the Mesozoic era, South America, Australia, and India started to break away from Antarctica and move towards the equator. So everything is starting to move up towards the equator, except for Antarctica. But why? So you guys, all those other things moving towards the equator and moving away from Antarctica. This left Antarctica all by itself as it slowly continued to move south. Antarctica is like trying to get away from the rest of the other countries, all the other continents. So it slowly moved south. Now, during all these changes on our planet, thanks to plate tectonics, you guys, dinosaurs still roam the lush green forest ecosystems of Antarctica. And that was until the KPG extinction, of course. But how did Antarctica transform into an ice-covered wasteland? So, quick recap. Mesozoic era, we've got Pangea. It starts to break away. It's a land bridge. Those other Africa, South America go up north, the Atlantic Ocean is formed, and then everything else splits away from Antarctica, goes up towards the equator, and Antarctica slowly goes a little bit further south. Now, all during this time, dinosaurs are roaming between all the continents. Things are connected, dinosaurs are roaming freely everywhere, so dinosaurs still lived on Antarctica, and we'll talk about some of those dinosaurs a little bit later on as well, okay? So dinosaurs still lived on Antarctica. They're able to travel all around the world, especially when things were connected, okay? But how did Antarctica transform into an ice-covered wasteland? And at this time, Antarctica was already towards the South Pole, and it was still much warmer than it is today. But what changed? What changed to make Antarctica the Antarctica we know today? Well, you guys, you'd think that when Antarctica moved over the South Pole, that this would be the lone reason for the devastating climate change. That's not the whole story, though, okay? So even though it's down there towards the bottom of the Earth, it's not the sole reason why it became full of ice and snow. We have to look at a large-scale changes that took place on our planet, okay? Some large-scale changes that took place on the planet. Now, everything really started around 40 million years ago as wide seas between Antarctica and the rest of the southern continents began to form. So when all of Gondwana was connected, it allowed warm currents to spread around Antarctica. Warm waters and warm air was able to come down to Antarctica when Gondwana was still connected as that subcontinent, okay? Now, this was crucial in order to keep Antarctica warm. But as all the other continents moved towards the equator, it allowed the oceans to grow. Now, this created a cold circumpolar current that rotated clockwise around Antarctica. This prevented any warm water from reaching the Antarctic coast. As Antarctica continued to move towards its current position, its climate also started to change in response to the huge seasonal shift in sunshine. Now, glaciers began to form in the poles as carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases decreased after the Mesozoic era ended. Studies of rock formations on the continent and sea floor indicate that Antarctic glaciers began to form during the late Eocene, around 38 million years ago. And this created a snowball effect as ice started to spread across the Antarctic continent. With more ice, there was more reflection of the sunlight back to space. Now, the continent also grew taller as ice built up over time. This further cooled down Antarctica, and by 6 million years ago, we have the Antarctica that we know today. So, long story short, you guys, the increased size of the oceans between Antarctica and the rest of the southern hemisphere and those continents cause Antarctica to enter into a deep freeze. Is that right, Reagan? Did I get that all right? Is it because of the oceans that Antarctica became so cold? Say yes. That's right. Ding, 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 ding. So you guys remember, it is all those southern hemisphere continents moving up towards the equator, the Africa, South America splitting. We're getting the oceans, you guys, and we're getting that I mentioned. We're getting that polar rotation going around Antarctica. It's not letting any warm air or water in to the Antarctic coast, which is allowing it to just start slowly and slowly and slowly entering into that deep freeze. So you guys, some 98% of the 5.5 million square miles of Antarctica is covered in ice. That's a ton of ice. So again, 98% of the 5.5 million square miles of Antarctica is covered in ice. But that still leaves 2% of uncovered outcrops of sedimentary rocks, such as mudstone and sandstone. Locating these eroded areas is key to finding any kind of fossils down there in Antarctica, okay? So you want to find these eroded areas. Remember, erosion is when wind and water somewhat kind of erase the rock layers. They're bringing stuff back up from the bottom, right? So as the wild wind down there in Antarctica is blowing stuff around, it's eroding the sediment and bringing back fossils from the past, okay? So you guys, locating these eroded areas is key to finding all kinds of fossils. Most fossils are found around the Trans-Antarctic mountain range. Now, Antarctica is so big, it could cover up all of the continental U.S., but this alone doesn't just make it the hardest place to look for fossils, okay? Scientists have to calculate travel logistics. We just can't get on an airplane at Southwest at my airport and travel down to Antarctica. We got to have some great travel logistics. I'm pretty sure you've got one of the things is you got to get to New Zealand. And then when you get to New Zealand, you can take a big cargo plane down to McMurdo Station off Ross Island in Antarctica. So travel logistics. We got to think about daylight and seasonal issues. They're down there at the South Pole. They're going to have many days of darkness. So we got to make sure we're going when the season is right, when we're getting the most daylight to be able to look for stuff. We got to think about safety procedures. It is a very harsh climate down there. There goes Sparkle. Bye, Cece. Cecilia, my oldest daughter, just left for work at the child care. So see you later. And I'm stuck with this little monster back here behind me. Look at that smile. I see her smiling. Are you a monster?
No.
Nope. Not a monster, just a junior ranger, Reagan. Perfect. We don't have school. It's Friday, but my kids don't have school today for some like a teacher work day or something. So the kids are home from school today. But back to Antarctica. Remember, travel logistics, daylight seasonal issues, safety procedures. We got to talk about the harsh terrain that included natural dangers like glacial cracks called like all kind of crevasses, you guys. Those crevasses are when the glacier splits and it just brings a big hole down there. So those crevasses, you guys, dangerous. You got to be able to know the best ways to try and get yourself out of that crevasse, it just would be super scary to fall down something like that. And don't forget about the weather. Antarctica's wind and cold unrival anywhere else on the planet. So don't forget to bundle up and bring your diamond bit saw to be able to cut down into that rock, you guys. So that is a little bit of the geological history of Antarctica and some of the things that paleontologists have to go through to be able to go down there and dig for any kinds of fossils down there that they hopefully can find over in those Trans-Antarctic mountains, okay? David, would you go down to Antarctica for a nice summer vacation? I don't know. I think it would be cool, a good life experience to say that you went. I don't know. Of course, if you made it all the way to McMurdo Station, you got to go further into Antarctica. But you got to make sure you know the travel logistics, your safety procedures. You don't want to get trapped in any kind of winter horrible storm. Knowing all the safety procedures, you guys, and watching out for those crevasses is for sure number one. You don't want to fall down an icy glacier and be stuck down there, and then you're just eating a couple things of canned food that maybe you have in your backpack back, hoping that maybe someone comes and rescues you, because there isn't a lot of stuff down there. It would be very, 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 very dangerous. Now, let's talk about another dangerous expedition, you guys. So, Captain Richard Scott and the British expedition of 1912. 1912. Reagan, were you alive in 1912? Nope. Were you alive in 2012? Nope. You weren't even alive then. You weren't born until 2019. Perfect. Now, you guys, back in 1912, a Norwegian and British team raced to be the first to reach the geographical South Pole. So no one had been down there yet. We got the Norwegian team and the British team, and they're racing, you guys. They're trying to be the first ones to say they made it to the geographical South Pole. Now, ultimately, you guys, the Norwegian team would come out the winner, but the British team would do something extraordinary in the name of science, okay? The British team was led by the explorer Captain Richard Scott, and they had also been undertaking scientific work during their journey. That's right, they were doing stuff for science and not just trying to be the first one to reach the poles. So that's definitely going to be slowing them down as they're looking to provide any kind of new scientific discoveries. And that is exactly what happened. So you guys, they found the very first fossil in Antarctica. Now, the discovery of these fossils proved, you guys, that once a forested area. So what they found, these fossils were from the Glissopteris tree. The Glissopteris tree. So it's kind of like a feather-like leaf. A really big leaf, you guys, are Glissopteris. And so what happened was, these trees that had gone extinct 250 to 300 million years ago. And the discovery of these fossils proved Antarctica was once a forested area and connected to the other continents. But how do we know it was connected to the other continents? The Glissopteris, you guys, these trees had also existed on the continents of Africa, South America, India, and Australia. So we know, you guys, that all those puzzle pieces were once all put together, you guys, as one supercontinent Pangea. Then remember, it broke up and became Gondwana. So since we find these fossils down there of our Glissopteris tree, it's down there on Antarctica, but there's no trees there now. Well, they probably all lived together at one time in one giant puzzle piece, and as everything broke up, we have the evidence that they were connected long ago. So the Glissopteris trees had also existed on Africa, South America, India, and Australia. Now remember, all those are the other Gondwana subcontinents that I mentioned, and the fossils help support the theory of continental drift. Now, you guys, sadly, Captain Scott and his team perished in their journey back from the South Pole due to the extreme cold. They were even, I don't remember totally the whole story, but they were so close to getting back to be able, not necessarily to be rescued, because I'm pretty sure there was a couple dog teams that went out looking for them, and they never found them until the unfortunate had happened. But they were so close to getting back to base, where hopefully they would have made it back and got out of those frigid temperatures, you guys. So unfortunately, they perished in their journey back from the South Pole due to the extreme cold, but their scientific legacy will always live on. Their legacy and what they did down in Antarctica will forever live on in the history books, in the paleo books, and everything like that, okay? But that is the story of Captain Richard Scott and the British expedition of 1912. All right, now some dinosaurs that are found down there. Let me grab the keys to the dino bus right there, and I'll grab out this skull so I can show you guys. Hey, Reagan, do you want to come talk for a minute? You can tell everybody your favorite dinosaur. Here, stand up. Stand up. I'll give you the headphones.
Yay!
And if you talk in here, you can hear yourself. Say hello.
Yay. Hi.
Tell everyone your favorite dinosaur.
Triceratops and Bumpy.
Triceratops and Bumpy, why do you like those ones?
I don't know.
You don't know why you like those ones? All right, you guys, here is the Cryolophosaurus skull right here. Now, this one is it's a smaller one. Let me grab my my sheet real quick. Yeah. All right, perfect. Scoot over, Ranger Reagan. I'll take back over the head seat. Do you want to hold the Cryolophosaurus skull? All right. Show everybody the Cryolophosaurus skull in the screen right here, okay? So right here I've got my Cryolophosaurus skull, which is our Elvisosaurus. As I fix my silly microphone, what happens is the microphone is a great microphone, but the stand it's on, the bolts the microphone's too heavy. It wants to start falling down. But anyways, you guys, some dinosaurs that lived back in Antarctica, okay? David, you'll love this one. I know you do. The Cryolophosaurus right there. Show it to the podcast. Bring it up here next to the camera up there. Way up there, just like that, our Cryolophosaurus. Would you have a Cryolophosaurus as a pet, Reagan? No Cryolophosaurus. So this one, you guys, is the cold-crested lizard. Ooh, it looks like my camera moved a little bit. We're over here now. Now, you guys, this one, the skull that I have right here is just a 1/4 scale, okay? So it's not a full-size scale. It's 1/4 scale. So you got to times it 4 times to be able to get the actual true size of our Cryolophosaurus right there, okay? But some other dinosaurs, you guys, we find the Antarctopelta. And this is the Arctic shield. It's an ankylosaurid type dinosaur, first discovered dinosaur down in Antarctica. We got our Glacialsaurus, which means the frozen lizard. It's a sauropodomorph, so it's a very early sauropod, those long necks, way smaller than Brachiosaurus. It's an early base sauropod. We get our Morosaurus, and that's the L. Moro lizard. It's an iguanodontid-like ornithopod. We get our Trinisaura, and that's named the Trinidad Trini-Diaz lizard. It's named after. It's an ornithopod. We've got our Imperobator, which means the powerful warrior. And that one, you guys, is a theropod. It's classified as a dromaeosaurid, but there's a little bit of controversy about it because it wasn't found with its sickle-like claw like a true raptor. And then we've got our Cryolophosaurus. Grab that Cryolophosaurus again, Reagan. Our Cryolophosaurus right there, the cold-crested lizard. It's a theropod, the largest early Jurassic theropod ever found, and the apex predator of Antarctica. Are you getting cold over there, Reagan? You look like you're getting all snuggled up. Maybe I need to give you this big, giant, toasty coat. But you guys, that is our Antarctica lesson right there. So we talked about the geological history of Antarctica. We talked about finding how we kind of got a little bit of a touch base of finding all kinds of fossils down there. The things paleontologists have to go through as they travel down to McMurdo Station before they go on their true journey out to like the Trans-Antarctic Mountains. We talked about Captain Richard Scott, and then we mentioned a few fossils some dinosaurs that we find down there as well, okay? But let's go ahead and move on to our third segment. This podcast is running a little bit long today, and we'll blame Reagan for that. But you guys, the prehistoric cage match. So let's go ahead and grab our spinning wheel. Now, here's a question for you. Our apex predator of Antarctica is the Cryolophosaurus. David, maybe you can help us decide this, but should we just have the Cryolophosaurus fight one person that we spin on the wheel, or should we do a double spin and not do Cryolophosaurus? I'm kind of thinking let's just put Cryolophosaurus into the arena, and we will spin one time and see who will battle our Cryolophosaurus. David, maybe that's a good idea. Reagan, do you think that's a good idea? You don't know? Come on up. You got to be part of the cage match. That is the best part of the show, ain't it? Don't you want to see two dinosaurs battle one-on-one in the squared circle? That would be just too much fun, huh? But you guys, let's go ahead. We'll at least spin one here. We will grab our spinning wheel. Pop that one up. David, Cryolophosaurus, I agree. Okay, let's do it then. We will grab our PCM wheel. We're going to give it one spin. If I can find it here. Let's spin it and see who will battle our Cryolophosaurus, the cold-crested lizard, our Elvisaurus. Thank you very much. Who do we got? The Ichthyovenator. Do you like the Ichthyovenator? All right, let's move this one from our list. We'll close out of this guy, you guys. We'll go back to our camera view. We'll close our spinning wheel. We will grab our dinosaur facts for these two great dinosaurs as we enter into the prehistoric cage match. All right, you guys, we've got a showdown for you. Today, first up, we've got our Cryolophosaurus. This one's up to 26 feet long, 6 feet high, and can weigh 1 ton. It's the first theropod dinosaur found in Antarctica, and you can't forget about that cool head crest on top of its head, giving it the cool nickname, the Elvisosaurus. Then we get our Ichthyovenator. This one is up to 34 feet long, 10 feet high, and 2.5 tons. So this one is definitely a little bit bigger than our Cryolophosaurus, you guys. Cryolophosaurus, 26 feet long, our Ichthyovenator, 34 feet long, okay? Now, our Ichthyovenator is a spino with a double sail and conical-like teeth. All right, well, let's enter the arena. We got Cryolophosaurus in one corner, Ichthyovenator in the other corner. We got the cold-crested lizard, and then we got that Spinosaurid with somewhat of like a double sail on his back. Who will become the champion? As they enter in, they go one-on-one as they start to hit their heads back and forth against each other. And Cryolophosaurus strikes the Ichthyovenator. Ichthyovenator strikes the Cryolophosaurus. They're both pretty well matched. Ichthyovenator is a little bit bigger, but the Cryolophosaurus giving a little bit more of that speed. As it moves its legs, it shakes its legs, just like the king of pop, Elvis Presley. Now the Cryolophosaurus tries to do a couple headbutts into the Ichthyovenator as it pulls the Ichthyovenator or pushes it backwards, you guys. And the Ichthyovenator maybe starts to stumble backwards and it trips on its own eel-like tail. That Spinosaurid, is it going to be able to come back? It does come back. The Ichthyovenator gets back up and comes up, and it lifts up its chest, you guys, as it storms forward and knocks straight into the Cryolophosaurus. And it would have shaken the music everywhere. All the sheet music up into the sky, you guys. And here goes the Ichthyovenator. As it opens up, it's more of a crocodilian-like snout, and it goes in for the final blow onto our Cryolophosaurus. But quickly, the Cryolophosaurus gets back up onto its feet, and it shakes its legs again and hits right in to the belly of that Ichthyovenator. The Ichthyovenator falls backwards, you guys, and our Cryolophosaurus quickly jumps on top of the Ichthyovenator and deals a final blow. The Ichthyovenator, you guys, will become our champion. Did I say Ichthyovenator? Our Cryolophosaurus is our champion. Cryolophosaurus, you guys, is who I'm picking. Whoops. I'll ring the bell again. That will be our final bell. Cryolophosaurus is the champion, okay? I think I did a misread. I said Ichthyovenator, but as you remember, Ichthyovenator fell down, Cryolophosaurus came on top, Cryolophosaurus did that final blow, and Cryolophosaurus won the day. Now, maybe it's because of my love for Spinosaurids. They're one of my favorite dinosaur families. Maybe that's why I did a misread and I picked the Ichthyovenator as the champion. But you guys, the winner of today's podcast, episode number 13, stand up, Reagan, give us the Cryolophosaurus.
What do I say?
Say the winner is the Cryolophosaurus. Come on, you can say it. Cryolophosaurus. Who's the winner, Reagan? A little stage fright. She gets a little stage fright, you guys. She's so excited to come out here and help me with the podcast, and then she gets a little scared. It's okay. It's okay. We'll work on that a little bit. So our Cryolophosaurus is today's champion, the Elvis of the dinosaurs. Perfect. All right, you guys, let's move on into our closing statements for today as we pull back up. Here, give me 1 second. Bum-ba-dum-bum-bum. Grab these guys. Just check a few things before we go ahead and log off for today as we go ahead and show our claws. Do you like to show your claws, Reagan? No, you don't like to show your claws?
I don't know.
Well, geez, that's just wild. Well, anyways, you guys, thank you all so much for joining me as we talked about the prehistoric Antarctica and its geological history, how it got to be so cold because of those pesky oceans, how we look for all kinds, how we paleontologists have to go all kinds of different logistics to get down there, go against the harsh terrain, be able to look for those 2% of the sedimentary rock that's eroded away to be able to find all kinds of fossils. We talked about Sir Captain Richard Scott, and remember how we found that Glissopteris tree fossil, which is like a leaf that kind of looks like a giraffe's tongue. And they found those fossils, and they gave more evidence to the theory of all the continents being connected together at one time. Continental drift, how they drifted apart from each other, you guys, by plate tectonics and everything about those, okay? But you guys, anyway, thank you again all so much for joining me for episode number 13 on Friday the 13th. Maybe our Cryolophosaurus right here could be Freddy Krueger with his Halloween hockey mask on. He does look pretty scary with that cool little pompadour right there. But we'll keep him as the Elvis of the dinosaurs. Thank you. Thank you very much. Perfect. All right, you guys. Well, thank you again all so much, my dinosaur fans. I hope everybody has a great Valentine's Day weekend. A very happy Valentine's Day to my lovely wife, Ranger Elise. I hope she's listening right now as she's in her classroom getting some stuff done at her school. We've got some warm plans coming up, you guys. Tomorrow we have a day off. Ranger Anthony is at home, so we'll do a little bit of Valentine's Day fun, have a fancy Valentine's Day dinner as always. I think we're going to get out the fondue kit. So we're going to have some cheese fondue and then be able to dip all kinds of little foods and vegetables and all kinds of things into the fondue and have a nice fancy little dinner for Valentine's Day. Now, you guys, right there behind me, I remember I told you guys last week I went and picked up my new Jeep. My new 41 olive-colored Jeep is right behind me, behind those windows right there. So you want to see pictures of those, go to my Facebook page, Stump Jump Roar on Facebook. You'll be able to check out my new Jeep. And then a sneak peek, you guys. My new dinosaur has come. That's right. The new baby dinosaur arrived yesterday. So I hurried up and got home from my Des Moines vacation, and there it was on the front porch in its crate, my new baby dinosaur. So the new baby dinosaur puppet, you guys, is here. It is finally here. So if you want to stay up to date and see some sneak peeks of what it is, go to my Facebook page. I can't mention that enough. Just search Stomp Chomp Roar on Facebook. You can follow along if you want. Like my page. Tell your parents to go like the page so you can see some of my cool stuff, and you'll be able to see my new Jeep, and you'll be able to see some updates of our new dinosaur baby, okay? So I'm probably going to do a Facebook Live. So I opened it yesterday. I already sent out some pictures to my Patreon club kids. So, David, if you haven't seen it yet, go have your mom open up Patreon, and you'll see the picture of my new baby dinosaur that I unboxed yesterday. And you'll see me holding him. He's just super cute. His name is Phineas. Phineas. So that's the first time I've told the general public. I mentioned it to Patreon. So his name is Phineas, named after the famous showman P.T. Barnum. So you guys, Phineas is just wonderful, and I'm probably going to do a Facebook Live tomorrow, Sunday night or sometime next week, and I'll introduce him to the general public. He's so excited to become a new part of our show this year. I've got a brand new show coming called The Tale of America's Greatest Dinosaur, and I'm just so excited. Reagan, step on up here real quick before we log off. Is there any last thing you want to say to our viewers before we log off for today?
I do not.
Tell everybody, have a happy Valentine's Day.
Have a happy Valentine's
Perfect.
Day.
Can you wave goodbye to the camera for our YouTube audience? Perfect. Awesome. I hope everybody has a lovely and warm Valentine's Day. Think about the dinosaurs. They didn't have Valentine's Day, and now they're no longer with us. So maybe Cupid's arrow missed the dinosaurs, and that's a reason why we don't have the dinosaurs here any longer. But should we say our closing slogan? Are you ready to say goodbye? All right, let's go ahead and do it, okay? So now always remember, thank you to all the dinosaurs for giving us this passion. But this is our world now. Get out there, do something good, and never be afraid to show your claws. Dinosaur Ranger Reagan? You're Ranger Reagan. Dinosaur Ranger Reagan and Dinosaur Ranger Anthony are signing out. We'll see you guys next time. Show everybody your claws. Rah!